Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Well, breaking news, good news in boxing, and it's really good news because actually this year there's not too many fights that the brother want to see, right? That I really want to see. There's some fights that you accept because you watch sport or you watch boxing. You say, okay, I'll watch this. But when you start knowing as much as we do here, then you start saying, well, I ain't watching that because of this and that ain't right and this and that. But we got a good fight, and that would be Manny Pacquiao, 8th division champ Manny Pacquiao, 62-7 with 62-7, two draws. You know, a legend versus Errol Spence, still undefeated, 27-0, 21 KOs. Pretty much the guy that we say is the welterweight king, actually. You know, because he's been, he's got wins over Sean Porter, although close. And, Danny Garcia, Mikey Garcia came up trying to mess with him. We'll talk about that later. But, he's won. He's beat Lamont Peterson. Anybody else, right? Only one is, he won to Keith Thurman, but he didn't fight him. He beat Kell Brook. When Kell Brook I still only had one loss, just a loss to Golovkin, who wasn't even the welterweight. So, Errol Spence is the man in the division, right? So, I'm surprised Manny Pacquiao gonna fight him, right? I didn't think he was gonna fight him. But he's going to fight him. After his 2-year layoff, he's going to take Errol Spence. This is awesome. It's going to be on August 21st in Vegas. We don't know exactly where. Let's see. Now, Errol Spence, it's cool, but he should be a little insulted here, right? He should be a little insulted here. I think Errol Spence would have a chip on his shoulder. Why would be because they wasn't fighting Terrence Crawford, right? He wanted $40 million to fight Terrence Crawford. Let's keep our eye on the purses because Manny Pacquiao wanted $40 million to fight Terrence Crawford. Let's see what the purses are here. I'm very interested because I want to know what he's going to take to fight Errol Spence. Because let's get this clear. This is very important, right? Because this fight here, Pacquiao versus Spence, you have to also focus on, damn, they must really think, Terrence Crawford, who's way smaller than Errol Spence. Crawford moved up 3 divisions. This is his 3rd division in welterweight. And we have it documented that Manny Pacquiao, Bob Arum, Freddie Roach, even, pundits like Stephen A. Smith, Teddy Atlas, all don't want Pacquiao to fight Terrence Crawford, right? He's going to get hurt. And this is 6 years ago up until recently. Don't fight Terrence Crawford. You're going to get hurt. We might get knocked out and all of this stuff, right? Freddie Roach, his trainer. Think about that. His promoter. So, but he'll fight Errol Spence because he sees something in Errol Spence. He said it a few months back that Errol Spence is too slow, right? Which is insulting. I remember the last person that saw something with Errol Spence, right? It was Mikey Garcia coming up 2-weight division. I see something, right? And, we do know Mike Garcia is awesome. But you think you see something and you get up in there and figure out this is a cement wall with a whole lot of skill and a whole lot of will. You're going to mess around with Errol Spence, right? And Errol Spence is going to have a chip on his shoulder. Nah, that's not what they're going to talk about. Everybody's not going to talk about Terrence Crawford with this. Everybody's going to ignore that Pacquiao doesn't want to fight Terrence Crawford. His team doesn't want Terrence Crawford. The public doesn't want to see him fight Terrence Crawford. The pundits, everybody doesn't want to see that fight, right? But this one will be okay. Right? I'm going to focus on that because Terrence Crawford is a Negro League fighter. And what I mean by that, everyone knows by now. It's just a fighter that we know is awesome and we ain't giving him the opportunity to do nothing. If I got to go through my Negro League fighters, listen, heavyweight, Louis the Real King Kong Ortiz, Deontay Wilder, and Michael Hunter. Go down to middleweight, it's damn sure Demetrius Andrade and Jamal Charlo, right? Any other guys, Guillermo Rigondeaux and Devin Haney. Right? And of course Terrence Crawford, because Terrence Crawford should have fought Pacquiao a long time ago. But this is going to still be interesting. It's going to really be interesting. Now, Pacquiao came off, he ain't fought since he fought Keith Thurman in July 2019, right? That fight did 500,000 pay-per-views. I thought it was going to do more, but this one with Spence might do a tick more. It should, actually. But you got to remember this. Now, there wasn't no VADA doping testing for the Keith Thurman fight. Let's see if that's going to be different now, right? We're going to see different now of whether they're going to take drug testing or not. We'll see that too. That's what I'm interested in. It's going to be drug testing and what are the purses going to be. Those kind of interest me so I can just, put it in my memory bank to, so we can know what's really going on. Now, the fight itself, when you stop, complaining about stuff, is a damn good fight. Dangerous for both fighters, right? Dangerous for both fighters. But those are kind of fights that you want, where your heart is pumping, the blood is, flowing. You got the popcorn. You're excited before the fight. Those are the ones, we want to get to. And this year, there's just a lot of that's not happening. Right, all the fights that we want to see is not really happening, but we do have a few. I do want to see the undisputed fight between Jamel Charlo and Brian Castano, right, for undisputed. Pacquiao and Spence obviously is a good one. I think Deontay Wilder versus Fury is a good one. Other than that, I'm not seeing a good one. Now, I know we got an undisputed fight coming up with Josh Taylor and Jose Ramirez, but I told you what I don't like. Now, it's undisputed, right? So I'm you got to give it love because of that. I just don't think the way that Ramirez got there. I'm not happy with that because actually we had a tournament at 140 who Josh Taylor won, and most of the all of the good junior welterweights went in the tournament to find out who was the best. Undisputed should have came out of that tournament, but Ramirez and Hooker didn't go to the tournament. Right, and still now you can have undisputed outside of that, and I think Ramirez should have went in the tournament. I don't think he would have been there. I don't, it's no slight to Ramirez, but I think Josh Taylor gets him, and I don't think it's going to be that competitive. I think Victor Postol versus Ramirez was already a damn good fight that should have been readdressed. So I do think Josh Taylor wins that fight, but that don't mean that's going to be what's going to happen. Now, let's just rejoice. We got a good damn fight. Pacquiao versus Spence on August 21st. Let's enjoy. We'll talk a lot more about it leading up, but I think that's a damn good fight that we can all sit back and enjoy and see what the hell happens there. Doma Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.